this Impact tutorial. In this video we'll be going through job quotes. With job quotes you're able to prepare a quote for services that you can deliver to your client prior to invoicing for work. To create an invoice we can go to Open Work Orders. And so here we have a work order from a tenant to paint their break room walls. And here we have the option to create a job quote. So to create a job quote for a work order, just simply select job quote. And here, starting up at the top left, we're going to have our property, our service description will pull over for us. The date of the job quote can be added or modified there. The valid for dates, we'll just say valid for 30 days. Whether it's going to be billed to the tenant or billed to the property, we'll say billed to the tenant. Its status, whether it's draft, whether it's been delivered to the client, approved by the client, or not approved. We're just creating it, so I'll leave it as a draft. You can include the billing information, so if this tenant has specific billing, maybe they want you to bill to their main office, they have, accounting department somewhere, you can include that bill too. And then you just want to include your line items. So this will be for the services that are provided. So we'll just say paint supplies are going to be quantity 1 and $25. And then there's a base painting fee that's going to be $100. Perfect. And so our subtotals are added up there. You can always add more lines if you need so, but we have everything we need. So now we can either save the job quote or we can choose to save and send it. Both are going to create the job quote, but save and send is going to allow you to email this job quote to the tenant. So we'll hit save and send. So we can review our job quote here. Everything looks good. So we'll go back and we see our options to send this quotation. So we can select from the available contacts. Select Kate there. You can include other email addresses, and that is going to allow you to send it to maybe a manager, an accountant, someone else. Then you just include your message, and this is just going to be maybe explaining this is your job quote, please print it out, sign it, send it back to us. You can also include please print out this job quote, sign it, and reattach it to the work order. That way it gets to you right away. But you just fill this out as needed, and you can see the quote is going to be included as an attachment on that email. You hit confirm send, that is going to email that job quote. So now going back to our open work orders, we can see a little green check mark is next to job quote, and that tells us job quote's been created. Now assume you want to modify this. To do that, we'll just go to invoicing and we have the job quotes program. So this gives you access to all the job quotes that are created. So we can see for which work order, what property, the information, we can print it out, we can send it to the tenant again, and we can also update it. So anything you need to do to the job quote you can do from this screen. You'll also notice there is a new job quote. So you can create standalone job quotes. You don't have to create a work order first and then the job quote. You can just create the job quote, but remember, if you want to invoice the work, you can only invoice work orders. You can't invoice a standalone job quote. So if you do create a job quote, you have the option of creating a work order for it, and then you can invoice that work order. But going back to our example, let's go back to our example here. We'll go back to our work order. So we can imagine the job quote was delivered, it was signed by our tenant. We can go ahead and do it. So now our technician Ray, he went and he completed the work, painted the break room walls as requested. So now we want to invoice this job quote. So to do that, we'll just close this work order. And you want to make sure that the work order is marked billable. That's going to allow us to invoice it. So we marked it billable. We'll say it took Ray 2 hours to do. He started it today, completed it today. Walls painted as requested. And so now we can just close this work order. Perfect. And now we'll go to our invoicing, billable work orders, our West Chase 1 property, and there is our billable work order. And you can see it still brings over our quote. So quote number 1 right there. At this point, it's just like invoicing any other billable work order. You just select create invoice, and you'll notice it brings over the job quote information. So any of the billing info, the terms, and any of the line items. So our paint supplies, our base paint fee is there, $25, $100. And all you have to do is save it, and that is going to create that invoice. So simple as that to create a job quote and to get it invoiced. And that concludes this Impact tutorial. Just a reminder that Impact is customized for each client, and therefore your Impact system may differ from the information provided in this user guide. For further questions, you're always welcome to contact us at support@impactsolutions.com or submit a support request in the Impact system. We're always happy to help in any way we can.